There was a shocking story today about R-Truth tweeting that he was released from WWE, and I just couldn't believe it. When I first saw that tweet, I assumed it was just a work, and he's going to come back, and he's going to say he thought he was fired, but he really wasn't. He's crazy, R-Truth. That's what it's going to be, but it's confirmed. PW Insider confirmed it, and he's no longer with WWE. The only thing that was different from what he tweeted was he was not actually let go. He was informed that his contract wouldn't be renewed, which is a talent contract. I was really surprised. When I look at it now, I can see it from the perspective of his age. He's 53 years old. The thing is, though, he's more entertaining than about 98% of the roster, to be honest, when it comes to segments. He's very funny. Everyone likes him. All the wrestlers love him. The fans love him. There's no negatives about him. No one dislikes him. There's no heat with him. He's just universally loved by both the wrestlers and the fans, and that's rare nowadays in wrestling. And it was just came out of left field. I was not expecting this at all. And when you look at it, it's a situation where I think it's his age, and they don't want to keep paying him the salary that they're paying him. This is TKO, by the way. Shouldn't be too surprising. And because of that, they don't believe he's worth that money at his age, and that's why they're not renewing. I really hope, however, they bring him back on a Legends deal. I mean, if they don't want to use him as a talent anymore, that's fine. You don't have to use him as a wrestler anymore. I wish there was a way to use him as a personality on maybe something more than a Legends deal, in which we see him in segments and he can still entertain us that way. Do I still need to see him in the ring anymore? Not at all, no. And he's still fine in the ring, but I mean, there's nothing much you can do with him. I think the match with John Cena was, in a way, that was a fitting end, even though that wasn't technically his last match. It was against JC Mateo on SmackDown 2 nights ago. But his last high-profile match was against John Cena, the man who a few years ago he decided to emulate, and said it was his childhood hero, and he took all of John Cena's moves, and then him and Cena having a final match. I guess it was poetic that way. He came out dressed as Ron Cena on Saturday night's main event. It said the last time is now on his shirt, which is ironic now because it was the last time for him. So looking back at his career, he came in as K-Quick during the Attitude Era. Then he left, I believe, when he was with Road Dogg when he was with K-Quick. I think they were both let go, not too far away from each other. And then he went to TNA and made a name for himself. He became a top guy in TNA, and he was there for a few years. Then later, he returns back to WWE in 2008, where he stayed there for 17 years. I remember the first time he came back in 2008 on that SmackDown show. He did the R-Truth when he rapped down the crowd. He started at the top of the arena, and he'd make his way down the fans, walk down the stairs, and head to the ring rapping. He'd do the "What's Up," and then over time he became a comedy character. Probably some of my most favorite memories of him was when he first turned heel in 2011 on John Morrison, and he had that feud with Cena when he created Little Jimmy. And I would just watch clips of him about Little Jimmy and laugh my ass off. I thought he was so funny there. And then that's when I thought he really just became a fun comedy character. And, over time, you can call him enhancement talent. That's what he was. He was never actually pushed, but he was just someone who everyone liked on the main roster. He was fun to watch. He was entertaining, and you just enjoyed watching him. I think if there's one reason why I think he was cut, they don't want to keep paying him his salary at his age, and it's TKO. They're penny pinchers. They're greedy as fuck. We all know that, and I think that's probably why he was let go. I really do hope, as I said, they bring him back on a Legends deal. I think it would be great if we still got to see him sporadically. We don't need to see him in the ring anymore. I think that time's fast, but I'd wish they'd bring him back on the Legends deal, and we can sometimes see him. He can make appearances, be funny, be entertaining, and I hope he at least gets that. So I think there's a possibility. If not, I mean, he can always go to the Indies. I don't think he needs to wrestle. He can just make appearances. I'm sure the guy's set for life. I mean, he's been there 17 years now. I'm sure he's made a lot of money, so But it's, I think they would bring him back on the Legends deal if he wants it. But maybe he could go to Indies for a brief run and then come back on the Legends deal. I really hope we get to see him. I think we will see him in WWE one more time. I don't believe that was the last time on Friday we saw him in this company. And hopefully he does get a nice Legends deal in the future, if not now. Now there's a second release. And once again, this wasn't a release. They didn't cut someone from their contract, but they informed him that they won't be renewing his contract, and that was Carlito. A lot less surprising. Carlito was enhancement talent. I never thought he would last long in WWE on his second run. In fact, I thought it was in some ways more entertaining than how his first run ended, especially near the end. But when they brought him back a couple years, I thought, this is a nice, fun, nostalgic run for a few years, and it'll probably be it. I don't mind it. And I think when he came, he did really well. At first, when they brought him back on that Backlash show, and then he was with the LWO. Then we found out last year at WrestleMania that he turned on Ray, or I think he attacked Dragon Lee, and then he had the feud with Rey Mysterio, and then he moved to Raw, where he joined Judgment Day, and he's been there the last year, and I think he's been entertaining in Judgment Day. Probably my favorite moment of him in Judgment Day was when there was that whole story with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio, and she sent him a naked picture, and then they show all the reactions to Judgment Day, and all of them were like cringing, and Carlito has like his face lights up and says, "That's cool," and I thought that was so entertaining. That's when the guy can just be really entertaining in that way. I found him, he was fun as enhancement talent. The guy is really big, and like he seems a lot bigger than he was when in his first run, but they didn't really see him that way. Didn't want to push him much. It's fine. Do I think he'll be brought back on the Legends deal? I think it's a lot less likely than R-Truth, much less likely. He can do stuff. He can work in Puerto Rico. I don't know if his father solved the world. Does he still run the World Wrestling Council? There's places for Carlito to do well. He was fine when he was out of the company for a while. It's just, they don't want to renew his contract. That's it. It's older talent. They brought him back, I think, for a nostalgic run. They just don't really see much in renewing his contract, and that was it. I'll be honest. When they don't want to renew your contract, it's a bit different when they just cut you. So it is what it is. I do think maybe we could one day see him if they put him in the Hall of Fame. Probably not anytime soon. Sometime in the future, maybe. R-Truth will get in the Hall of Fame easily, but it won't be probably for a few years. But that was the news. Hopefully that's it. Hopefully they don't release to anyone else, or we don't find out anyone didn't have their contract renewed. And if there is, I won't make another video about it, but I'll just talk about it on my Raw review tomorrow night. So that's the news. Thank you to both R-Truth and Carlito.